Hello, everyone. I am here because I received such an interesting telephone call today. And I was like, you know what, girl, let me just go ahead and try to record my entire thought process for you regarding the physical things of what you need in order to move and be out here. First and foremost, let me shout out some stuff. This goth lipstick, forgive me, I look like I've been sucking prunes. But the other piece of it is this is election time, and I kind of was nervous about going on live right now, only because, like, whew, there's some really harsh, yeah, it's just these results hurt. And I'm not going to get into like political things, whatever, but I just kind of was like in a space of denial. Do not think, I have to say some things like, we get to pick and choose our politics out here, but I do understand every decision made in America, like it comes from something or somewhere. So I was still, still rooting for the home team, no matter what, still rooting for the home team. Um, so yeah, Florida, Texas, Georgia. But going into that, no, now I have to say there was others. Those are your big three, but there's so many others, and I just, before I get snatched off, before we go into that, I was like, it's either whatever it is, whether it's racism, whether it's stupidity, whatever it is in the majority. At this point, I don't want to sit there and fight about strategy and all this other stuff. It's literally like it's like having a toddler who like refuses to eat vegetables. You can sit there and strategize all you want to. It's still a fight. And it is what it is what it is. So but the whole purpose of this video is for me to break down the question that I received earlier regarding housing. So I'm going to kind of paraphrase it. I kind of wrote it here and kind of give you a step by step what you have to consider. So someone came to me and they were like, look, I want to purchase a home in Rwanda. I am not in Rwanda. I'm coming to Rwanda. So I am a foreigner. And what does that process look like? And so there's two pieces of the process. There's the legal piece, and then there's just the practical what you're going to have to deal with piece. So the legal piece is very easy to go through because it's by law, whatever it is. So by law, by legal, by purchase in a house, you can be a foreigner. You can purchase a home. You can do all of this stuff. And it's a very easy, legitimate process. I'm probably going to go ahead and go into some truths. Um, whether you're working with a realtor, whether you're not, you are purchasing your home through the owner. So you have to make sure that you guys are following those rules there. Some people have gotten lawyers, some people haven't. It's your choice. I don't even know what I would say now. Um, but like I said, it's very very possible. You need to make sure that you're purchasing correctly. Like purchasing a home is not hard. There's not a whole bunch of like tape or any of things like that. You have to just make sure that the people's name is on the house. Um, make sure that you're paying it the right way, all this other stuff. The major issues that you're going to deal with first, being a foreigner, is how do you get your money over here? That's the biggest issue. So, the two currencies that are really, really, really dealt with out here is Rwandan francs and USD. Okay. Um, Rwandan francs is the national currency. Majority of most transactions are done with Rwandan francs. There are some people who want to be paid rent in USD if possible, especially if they know you're a foreigner because of the exchange rate. So you have to make sure also, whenever you do a contract, know if it says USD or Rwandan francs. You want to do your contract in Rwandan francs because you're technically paying more sometimes. Like right now, Like I exchanged some money. I got so much more for the Rwandan francs using my USD. That's one reason why the business is there. The thing that you have to be careful about is that number one, I you do not need to be sending large amounts of money to anybody over here that you do not personally know and all that stuff. Just don't work with a realtor that says just send me your money, I'll get it done. Like you just don't. Just don't. Don't folks need just don't do that. Everything that you can do in Rwanda, you can do fairly quickly. Like if you want to buy something, you can do that. Now, if you turn around and meet somebody and you want to do something later, okay, you've established that relationship. But on the front end, no. Don't. Okay. Number two, you have to figure out, like, if you're buying a house or selling a house, they're going to want their money. Majority of time, they're going to want it wired to them, to their bank account. It is hard to wire your money from the US or whatever to their account, especially if it's Rwandan francs. A lot of banks will not do that. They will wire from USD to USD. So, um, I feel like I need to talk to me. What my suggestion is that when you come to Rwanda, when you land, you need to get a bank account. You need to establish a bank account. You can go to, and this is all on my cousin connection. You can go to Bank of Kigali will open you up a bank account immediately on a tourist visa. Echo Bank will open you up a bank account immediately on a tourist visa. Um, the others might require a different visa. Maybe I&M will let you open on a tourist visa. I do not know about Equity. I heard Equity does. I take that back. I heard Equity does. Um, but you also have equity and access. There is no bank that is connected strictly to a US bank. Like Chase is not out here. Bank of America is not out here. Wells Fargo is not out here. There is no bank that is a US based bank that is connected to a bank out here. So you're going to have to create a new bank account. When you create a new bank account, I am so hot right now. You're going to create a new bank account in both denominations. You're going to create one in USD and you're going to create one in Rwandan francs. You do need USD to put into the USD money. So you're going to need about 20, 30 at least to start. But you're going to create a USD account and you're going to create a Rwandan francs account. So then the next piece, I am so not energized. The next piece is once you create those accounts, you are now able to receive your own wire transfers. And your wire transfer is going to come from your USD account from the States or wherever into your USD account in Rwanda. Once you have your money in the USD account, you then can do a personal transfer from USD to your Rwandan francs. And then if you're paying or whatever, you can wire it from your Rwandan account to whomever you're paying. Now, let's go back. The wiring does take time from you to get your money. Wire transfers here take maximum 3 days, but like if you're working with Bank of Kigali, baby, that stuff be instant. Um, so the wiring process out here from bank to bank to do business so easy. Like people do it all the time. Not hard at all. Wire transfers is like what people do. Okay. So you're going to have more headache on your end. Now that I've told you the steps, this is what you have to do. And I do not take this lightly. Wherever your money is in the bank, wherever your money is in the bank, you need to go to the bank in person. You need to go to your bank in person. You do not need to talk to a teller. And I had somebody who disputed me. You can dispute me all you want to. All of this is opinion. It's whatever, whatever. But you need to go to like an account manager, or you need to sit down in the booth. And in my cousin connection, I had like 5 questions to ask. Like one of the articles, it was like 5 questions you need to ask. But you do need to talk to them and you need to tell them, if I am not here in person and I want to initiate a transfer, what does that process look like? And they're going to tell you, oh, this, and this. And you're going to ask, the next question is, what is the maximum amount I am able to transfer in that way? Because there are maximums. So if you're trying to purchase like a house and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to initiate a $40,000 transfer. And low key, I've had this happen. And the bank was like, no, that's not going to happen. You're not going to do that. And you're not here to sign off on that piece of paper. And we're not going to take that via wire or whatever else like that. Like some people are blocked from being able to only transfer $2,000 a day to maybe like $10,000 a day. You need to know your bank's rules. You need to make sure you have your bank's rules and you're activated for that. You need to make sure that your security setup is that way. All of those things. You need to make sure that you can do that before you come to Rhonda. We literally had another cousin who turned around and followed these rules. And when they went to their bank, they were like, oh, they don't do this. And they literally, before they came out here, transferred their money to their credit union because their credit union had rules that did that. Now, please, if you want to, you can get on here. You could be like, my bank did this, my bank did that. I am telling you, everybody's bank is different. So there's no set rules or what you need to do. What I'm telling you is the rule is go to your bank, go to your credit union. Do not go by what you think you know. Go by what you have heard, and whoever you talk to, you get their card and your information, because if you get any hiccup or snags, you call them directly. Because I have been with too many people who have gotten out here and gotten blocked up with just systems and rules that you did not know that was in place. So whether it's a credit union or a bank, you need to go ask them. Number one, do I need to be here in person to initiate any type of transfer? Number two, what is the maximum I'm allowed to transfer? And is it per day? Is it per week? Is it per month? Number three, what is the cost of that transfer? What is the cost of that transfer? And you want to know if it's by percentage, like are they going to just take like 1% of what you transfer? Is it a one time wire transfer? What is the cost? Um, I would say you also need to have your tracking information. You need to make sure, like, if you make a transfer, you have your tracking information, especially since you're new at this and everything, and you're able to follow up with that money. Hands down, very, very important. And the truth is also, I'm going to speak very ignorantly right now because I don't know what's happening, but I do know that large money transfers are kind of being red flagged with some banks, because people moving money quick because of the inflation and economy. So that's the other reason why you need to go. Um, from what I have heard, opinion, don't know it's all true and stuff, is that things is getting different. Things is getting different. So if you're trying to pull out large sums of money, they might make you wait. They might, I don't know. So you need to be able to do those things. So if there's any questions, hey, Eric, thank you for listening. Let me know. But that is like the biggest portion right now is going and taking care of your money and being able to do that. Now, there are forex exchanges out here, but I don't know which money and rate is carried. That's why I said USD and Rwanda francs is pretty much what you want to work with and run with. I also have nothing to say about traveling with large amounts of money. I know nothing about that. I have no advice because I know nothing. I absolutely know nothing. If you travel with large, like that's what you do. There's Google where you can Google a lot of your questions and stuff. I know nothing about physically carrying large amount of monies. I only know that I know of somebody who tried to come in with, I think, silver bars before, and I know that it got confiscated at customs to be taxed. And so I just know that they left. They was like, I'm not paying that tax. And I just know that customs tends to be about 20% to 30% on taxes for big items, for your big items. So let me see if I can find my phone to see if there was any more questions real quick that she had. Um, but yeah, the biggest thing is, how do you get your money? And if people want to turn around and ask me, um, first of all, let me be honest with you. I don't dabble in the commas like y'all be dabbling in commas. So I can only tell you so much. My comma game, you know, I got to work on commas in my bank account. That's my goal. I got to work on commas in my bank account. Okay. So the next piece of the question was like, hey, how much would I need to buy a house and to start a business in Rwanda? Two separate questions, right? Um, the house buying. I cannot give you um uh yeah, I'm about to help you with that one. I cannot give you that because whew, the Rwandan housing market really is different based upon your location, even in the city. Um, I have seen houses that I have seen houses that have gone from for 70,000, and I have seen houses for 180,000, and I have seen houses for 300,000. I'm gonna bring that number down to maybe like 225, you know, what's the hundred? 250,000. Um, I am okay. I'm gonna sit here and say so. It's all about what you want. Now, I could tell you this: the house. I remember I saw a house. I love the house for 80,000. It was a cute house. Everything you needed, all that other stuff. I'm gonna break that down in a second. But the location and getting to it, it was on a very bad road. It was a very tight road, and it kind of was like down in between things. And that's why I said it really is about your location. Um, and so I can't really tell you this is how much this is. Um, and this is no, this is spiced tea. This is my addiction. I drink like ginger tea and spiced tea. Spiced tea is my thing, and African spiced tea. Woo, yes, but I don't drink African spiced tea because it has like real milk in it, and that's a treat when I get it. So this is spiced tea. Um, so when I tell you about the location, that means a lot. When I tell you about the build, that means a lot. And I will tell you, um, in building, you got to check. And there's no, I don't know if they have like inspection people like how we're used to, but yeah, you're probably gonna have to probably take your maintenance person out there. You want to check plumbing, baby. You want to check plumbing. You want to check electric. Um, but plumbing's the big one. Plumbing's the big one, and I'm not sitting there saying like, oh, it's bad. What I'm saying with regarding to plumbing is that um, whew, you're gonna have to check plumbing. Trust and believe, and it's just something that you might have to turn around and take care of yourself. Um, but I'm gonna go back. So that's it. Those are the houses. Now, um, being personal. I'm gonna stop this and say being personal. So I've been here. I'm going into year 3. I've been with people and looked at houses. I've looked at other houses. What is my personal experience? My personal experience is I have seen some very nice houses. Um, when you come out of the expat heavy spaces, like if you go into Kabaga Baga, pretty penny, because that's where everybody is. Kabaga Baga is expensive. Um, there's certain areas that are expensive. Um, if you're around like presidential or military stuff, those tend to be more expensive because of the security and the way it's built up. Um, but you can find things. Um, the houses that I've seen that, like I said, were in the 80 to $90,000 range. One bedroom, not one bedroom, Jesus, one story, cute, cute, cute. But I would not do it because of the drive or the actual location, or it was tight. It was tight. I don't know what you want. If you came out, if you were in like your suburban areas, you could find that and have a little bit of space and it's cute and you have like porch and all that stuff. That's why I said it's all about location, y'all. It is so much about location. When I was out in Kenyan, when I was living in Kenya, they had some cute new built houses and I swear they were going for like 140,000. Um, okay, let me go ahead and get in here. So those things are here. Okay, I'm relocating to touch base with you. Talked to you about 6 months ago. Perfect. I'm going to give you my email address one more time. I'm going to skip down because I saw Jumongo says this that Ty Nichols has a house for 35. Okay, I'm going to tell you once again. Um, I'm jumping all around because let me be honest with you. I learned to be very personal with my business. I was attempting to buy a house for 35,000. So I'm not going to say it's not. I was attempting to buy a house for 35,000. That house was not in Kigali. So when you come outside of Kigali, totally different prices. Totally different prices. So I attempted to buy a house for um 35K. And mine was in Gashura, and it probably was about hour 10 minutes from Kigali. I was trying to purchase it from Rwandan owner. What happened for mine is that I was trying to purchase mine through bank mortgage. I was purchasing it for the purpose of moving closer to the farm. Um, Let me say this real quick. Um, the $35,000 house that I was trying to purchase in Gashura had 4 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms. It was a nice size. It was not a tiny house. It did need work. It did need to be like we had humidity issues, and it was not a modernized house. I swear to God, it was built like in 1984 or whatever. Um, the issue for me was that like I said, the bank, and by the time the bank, when the bank did their appraisal and evaluation, they stated because of the location they would only finance 30% of the loan. Location. They were telling me that if I was in Kigali, they would finance 70% to 80% of the loan, but because of my location they would only finance 30% of the loan. So it was a no go. And then I'm going to be very honest with you. Um, I have lost money for that one because I put down a deposit per the owner. I put down a deposit of 5% to hold the house while I was waiting for the mortgage and everything to go through. Um, when it came back and I asked for my deposit back, number came off. We had like some arguments, and he was telling me how he was disappointed in me. He thought I was serious, which I was. It's a big argument, and he has now like turned off his phone and everything, and I'm trying to um okay, I'm about to. Ooh, we got so much to talk about, and so let me be honest with you. This all is punishable or whatever. I could go to the civic court. What I did not realize, what I did not do with this contract, because the contract is notarized, I did all the right things except for I did not verify his address, which is his sector, his district, and all of that stuff. Because what they ask you to do first is to go to the sector and district office in order to take care of any disputes. So when I went to the one that I went to, he's not registered. So what's happened now is that I can't find him. I just can't find him. unless I get somebody else, which I am, because I'm watching the house. I know where the house is, so I'm waiting for the moment. Like it looks like he's about to sell it, so I'm going to probably pose as a Mzungu, another one, who's interested in the house. Meet him somewhere, serve him some papers, and get my deposit back. But that's one of the lessons that I've had to learn, which is an ugly lesson. And I'll be honest with you, I I have now started doing business in different ways, and I am 100% a proponent of other stuff. So let me go back before we go forward. I wanted to kind of go back to some of the things we're saying because I don't want to lose too much. Relocation. Thank you. Hello, sister. This is from Nelson. Hope you're doing well. I'm learning a lot from this video. Thank you. Watching from Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you. Thank you so much. Z1 Cookies is best to be on the ground so you can physically see the location of houses before making a decision. Yes, yes, yes. Don't don't fall in love, and I've had this happen to me. Don't fall in love with what you see on YouTube. Learn from YouTube, know what's possible, but don't fall in love because it is the locations. Even in buying your land and everything else, there is all about your location. I already came to this one. The tiny house, I would say once again, locations, 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 locations. I'm moving to Rwanda this June. I visited 3 times. I want to connect with you. Of course, of course, of course. My cousin connection. We're here. Not an issue. All that stuff. We're trying to do. All right. So Nelson came back. I bought a house in Kigali a few months ago, and this is a 2022 4 bedroom brand new house that there we go. That after a few months, the house started showing some weird signs on the wall and the plumbing was not good. Now, there's two issues here. I don't know the situation. The wall, if you're talking about humidity, the humidity happens. The humidity happens everywhere. So the humidity is kind of like your wall and it starts kind of bubbling and peeling. Um, from what I've heard, and I kind of talked to Mr. Bigwee about it a long time ago, is that the dirt and soil in Rwanda carries a lot of moisture. So you're pulling in moisture from the bottom, so you will have to do humidity work on your houses. Um, like, whew, let me think. Let me be honest. Let me go through all of the houses that I've done because I've been here. The very first house that we moved into, I saw the humidity issues. And we actually had to have humidity work done in 2 rooms. So I remember that we had to have, and that's when they kind of pull out the wall, they replaster it, and then they paint over it. So one of the things is if you're building a house or whatever, um, I will say you want to be careful with your paint because if they have to mix and do your paint in a certain way, if you're going to try to match it in 2 years or 3 years, it might be hard. Actually, I had this house when I moved in, I painted it. Painted the inside. I talked to my landlord. He was like totally cool. I was so happy. But the one thing I did make sure is that any of the paint that I came up with, I did not do mixed combinations because that matching of the paint is like an eye to eye job. And the female that I am and Virgo, I know the difference. So I was like, no. So the humidity is one of your big, big, big issues. And so for house number 2, we didn't really have humidity problems, but the landlord for that house, that landlord was on top of things. Oh my God, I miss him and I love him. And in this house, when we came into this house, we had to wait 2 weeks because part of the deal was to take care. There was a lot of humidity issues on the inside and outside. And then the second thing is the plumbing. Baby, we fight plumbing. Every house I've been in, like you need to have a plumber. You need to have a plumber on standby who knows your stuff, who you do like I have a plumber that I really trust. We just dealt with plumbing issues today. Um the plumbing. It's the plumbing. It's always the plumbing. So I don't know. I'm going to sit there and say this. I don't know cuz I don't know every single situation, but I don't know if you can make a purchase and those issues never occur. I'm telling you, these are things that you do have to be cautious about. And that plumbing, I don't know, is that plumbing is serious. You have to be very careful when you buy a house in Kigali. Um, to give me more information about that statement, Nelson, I do think, yeah, Yeah, just give me more information because I agree with you on some of those things. That's crazy. Nelson's okay, so yeah, this is all old. This was like from 5 minutes ago. Who was my realtor? No, they were asking Nelson that question. Okay. RIB might help you find him, but it does make sense to compensate him a bit. Okay, so this is the situation. The situation is because I paid 5%. It was not an RIB issue. It's a civil court issue now because the issue is not theft, it is breach of contract. Um, so that it does make sense to compensate. No, let me be honest with you. There's a difference between compensating and putting down a deposit that is refundable. And the key thing that was in the contract was that based upon bank approval, I would then pay for the rest because the issue was not a 1%, the issue was a 5% towards the house. So the issue is it is a contract because I no longer can go after the house because of that. And then that whole compensate piece, I question. And the reason why is because I paid for survey, I paid for everything. I did all of these things. I'm trying to understand the compensation I need to give him to see the house that he's trying to sell. So I don't know if we're using compensate in the right way or not. I have no problem. That's the thing. I had no problem putting a hold on it because I didn't want him, like I put a 5% hold on the time that we're doing business so he would not sell it to somebody else. But the same piece of it is based upon a notarized contract, it was a hold. Yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about that. Can't wait to get there. Come through, come through. It's an investment. Yeah, I know about Ty Nichols. I know about the African Investment Guide. Um, I know. I know. Oh no. Oh no, Nelson. Then you're right. It was not the humidity. You're absolutely right, and thank you for clearing that up. It's not the humidity. There were lines on the bedroom walls, and I realized that the walls were crackling down. I have nothing to say. Um, because that's the other piece. And I don't know if I put that together or not. And let me forgive me if I'm not trying to seem right. It's you do not know who's building your stuff. You do not know, and you don't know the shortcuts that they took in order to save money. Because a lot of stuff looks pretty, baby. Looks pretty. It looks pretty. Baby, I should show man, when they showing y'all these houses, oh, they gorgeous. They gorgeous. And I do know of some people who do quality. And then the other piece of it is it can take 4 months to have a house up. You might look at that as a good thing. And so, and Nelson, I believe in what you're saying. It seems like the foundation was not built well, or maybe they didn't use enough cements when building that house. They use a lot of sands and few cements. Let me tell you this, Nelson. Let me tell you this. I can agree, and I can tell you because of building at Hatima Farms. When did we really start building? I'm giving because I'm about to give you some information. Um, Basically, cement has gone up. The cement bags has gone up almost $10 per bag. Those bags are expensive. Cement is expensive. So I bet you that's what happened because that prices went up literally overnight. The cement bags went up overnight. Back in April or May. Because I'm telling you, because we went and bought, because like that's when I built. And I remember buying the cement bags at one price. And literally, we went to go get more cement bags. And that thing was almost a $10 hike. And so I do 100% believe you because so it's always good to check before buying the house or just buy your own. Nelson, you hit it on the head. If anybody had to ask after the things that I have done and learned, I'm buying land and building. I'm buying land and building. Either it's okay, so it's either one or the other. Let me be honest with you. One, I would purchase. I would purchase. I know I wouldn't, but I could. I could think about it. I would purchase a home with the knowledge of renovating it. I would purchase a home with the 100% full knowledge of renovating it. So, meaning that I have the money to the side to do that. But honestly, and me and mom have talked about this, if we do this, um, and if we move forward, we have decided that we would build based upon the things that I've gone through, based upon what we've both seen, what we've recognized. We realized that we would build, and I think that we're in a time crunch on affordable building. I do think that it's going to become a lot more expensive to build in the next coming year to 2 years. It's going to be a lot more expensive to build just because, like I said, I've seen the cement hike go up. I know about the woods here. Like we have to get good woods imported. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of those things. So Nelson, so I want to say Nelson, thank you for dropping in. I appreciate that. And Nelson, you did give some really good. Why are you up, Nelson? I just realized you said you bought a house in Kigali. Why are you, Nelson? What in the insomniac going on? But thank you. Um, but I want to say thank you for tapping in. For those people who are watching the replay, make sure you check the comments because Nelson actually gave some really, really good information here. And I thank you for just being part of this broadcast and because you have put in some insight. It is a tricky, man, I don't know how to say this the wrong way, right way, because I don't need people to go in with like and coming back with like, oh, she said this and she said that. No, I would say it's a slow process. Don't come in. I don't know how to say that one. This is bad. I don't know if it's say it's good advice or not bad advice or whatever. But buying a house, seeing around, it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. Um, what you say? I was thinking about building too. Plus, I like my house a certain way. With building, you could take. Yes, yes, yes. I could say yes again. Yes, yes, yes. And I'll be honest with you. I'm so happy. I'm in a comfortable space. I'm actually in love with it. I love what I'm doing here, and not everybody's there. But yeah, I would build. 100%. I would build, and then you spend your time building a relationship with the contractors that you know you can trust and do all that other stuff and everything else like that, and you spend your time. So that is um kind of like that breakdown. So when I go back to housing and everything, uh I would say be, if you're, yeah, especially if you're in Kigali, you're going to, if you're going to buy a house in Kigali, I would say think about that 150 to maybe $180 range. But it can go up to 250 depending on the location. Like I've seen some nice stuff and they said 200. And then whatever you see online, you can negotiate. Like you can definitely negotiate. And I would say that whatever you buy, you need to make sure you put money to the side for repairs. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, based upon the car that I had, based upon, and this is the previous car. I now work with a mechanic and a person who owns the car. I rent the car, but the mechanic who I work with, hands down, love him. He doesn't know that, but love him, love that company. And I think that's one thing. Once you find somebody who you like, I can stand on this quality of work, you stay. Um, but I didn't have him before with the first car. So like I said, just the and I don't want people sitting there saying, "Oh, this is what Rwanda does," or whatever. Like, dude, people are people. People be peopling. People be peopling. And people, like, we could go back to the election. Do people want to do, like, if somebody wants to build or whatever and do something and they choose to do shortcuts, the issue is you don't know about the shortcuts until it hits you in the face. That's going to be the biggest issue. That's the reality. The reality is nobody's going to tell you, yeah, I didn't buy this wood, I bought this wood. Nobody's going to tell you about nothing. It's just going to hit you in your face. It'll pop you in your face. So take your time. Um have some people, but I know a couple people who bought houses. I know a couple people who bought houses. I know a couple people who've bought houses. Now I think about that. Um, so it's worth it to go back and say, hey, that's who we should do. We should probably go back and to be like, hey, so now that you've been through the home buying process, what was that like, and what would you do? Um, and yeah, it's personal. This is personal. There are wolves in sheep's clothing too. So God, listen to your gut. I don't even listen to my own information enough to realize how important it is to listen to your gut. Um, I'm sorry, always working. And okay, that's it. So I hope that answered. So the very first piece, if I have to reiterate, because some people didn't catch the beginning, is you 100% as a foreigner can buy a house out here. That is not an issue. Um, Make sure that your paperwork's intact. If you're working in Kigali, like there's literally a lot of real estate agents that, or like places like you can kind of check through and all that other stuff. If Nelson was there, I really would wish that he could hit me up with like what his process was like, even if he doesn't want to tell y'all, like, so people can know. Um Number 1, so that's possible. Number 2, your biggest issue is transferring money over and making sure that you have money accessible to you. And that issue starts first at home, making sure you can access your money and knowing the fees, which direction you want to go. You need to know your fees. You need to know what you can initiate, what you can't. I know that you could also do your Western Union to yourself. I know people who've done that. I know you can also world remit to yourself, but your world remit is at a maximum of $2,000 a day. So you need to go and have conversations with the intentions of large money transfers, cost, pieces, and processes. Um, and then you just start. I feel like we're kind of at a thing. If anybody has a question, um, go ahead and shoot it. I kind of got to get ready to go. So, yeah. But if anybody else has any questions, I thank you so much. I'm hoping that this kind of helps and blesses you with the information that you need to have. Um, Thank you so much. For those people who are in Kigali, we are having our Us Giving. I will give more information about that. But if you want something, just email me. Let me send that back to you guys. But Us Giving is our big celebration of us. It's our big celebration of us. So I'm really trying to make sure that we have enough. We have a much bigger space this year's, so we can accommodate more people. So that's more room to electric slide and wobble. We are getting that sweet potato pie. I'm trying to find the girl who brought the macaroni and cheese last year. That thing was on fire. Um, Looking at turkey, sweet potato casserole, potato salad, greens. Um, Look, don't, girl. But look, send a message because the saddest thing is I need a children's book. That's all I need and some socks. So, no, but we can definitely meet and connect. But just go back to the email. Um, oh, was this good to know? Do they use diesel or gas cars? Both. Some cars are diesel, some cars are gas. That's both. And at every petrol station, there's both. There's both. There's both. Dallas, Washington. Who's Dallas, Washington? Can you find already built homes without going through the building process? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Um, yes. That's not hard. There's already built homes without going through the building process. Yeah. Um, to be honest with you, like I said, there's some houses that I was looking at in Kenyinya that I think are freaking gorgeous that are at good prices. Um, yeah, that's not hard at all. And there's some houses that are ready for sale now. Um, mhm, not hard, not hard. Okay. All right. So we're at 46 minutes. Can you find? Ooh. All right. So Dallas, this is a harder question. Um, I currently live in a rural area and I'm absolutely in love with my home. So this is personal opinion. I want you to know personal opinion. So please put your boots on the ground. Something is going on, and um, there's something going on, and this is not a negative. Like this, my eyebrow is up. My eyebrow is doing the rock because there are some gorgeous homes out here where I am. There are some gorgeous home to the point of like, what is this home doing here? Um, and one thing I've kind of noticed or whatever is that you have a lot like local Rwandans. Like I've been to meetings, a lot of Rwandans are building like retirement homes or like they out here. Like so they're working in the city, but they have a home or they go out here or whatever else like that. So I've seen quite a lot. Like there's this one area in Gahambe, dude. I'm like, wait a minute, what? And then there's another area when you leave Kigali the opposite direction and you turn like left and there's like all of this. There's these massive houses back there. Like there's this whole neighborhood that's freaking gorgeous. Um, so um the thing is that while I see gorgeous homes out in my area, those homes are not available to rent. So I don't know what's going on. That's why I said the eyebrow is up. Um, I don't see, and that's one thing about being in rural areas. You really don't see the for sale signs. You don't really know. You really have to ask around. It's really hard to hunt. It's hard to hunt. It's hard to get information. But it is there. So it's one of those things like Dallas, when you get your feet on the ground, and if you come out here with the intention, and the first thing you're going to find the intention on is knowing your different rural areas. Now, you also have Masanzi, which is technically not rural. That's the second biggest city, but there's a lot of people there. And then you can find some good homes out there, some really good bills, but it's also a lower price because it's not Kigali. So you have that, you have all those things out there area. Then I'm like I said, I've said all the time, I'm in Bogasera, and like there's things that I'm seeing like, yo, really? So we just kind of know that piece. Um, yes, if I don't get them before, because my mama left my socks, and I was like, I want my socks. Girl, I want some socks that are not stretched out, tight on the feet, comfy. Like I want some socks. Okay. And then good to know. All right. So I'm out on this one. Plus, I need to get ready. Thank you guys for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. And we'll be talking more later.